charming Valentine. You make me smile within my heart. Oh, yeah. Your looks are laughable, unphotographable, yet you're my favorite work of art. Oh, is your figure a little less than brilliant? Is your mouth a little weak, baby? When you open it to speak, girl, are you smart? Oh, don't change one hair for me, no. Not if you care for me, yeah. Stay, my little Valentine. Stay, 'cause each day is Valentine. Valentine's Day is the belly of the Lord. Bebo, bebo, lule.
The top of every mountain is the bottom of another. The top of every mountain is the bottom of another. Run for cover, you'll discover some will thrive and others suffer. 'Cause the top of every mountain is the bottom of another. Ooh, don't wait, don't hesitate. Better speak the truth, let it resonate and let it detonate and get blown away till you keep on rising to a higher place. Can't stop, won't stop, don't stop coming till we hit the top. Gotta keep pushing till the day I make it. Since they won't give it to me, then I got to take it. The pain today is power tomorrow. Keep on coming, but you'll never catch me running. 'Cause I won't bow down, no matter what they say. I wouldn't do it any other way. Keep on coming, but you'll never catch me running. 'Cause I won't bow down. The top of every mountain is the bottom of another. The top of every mountain is the bottom of another. Not enough to keep us smothered. Lower class, never the upper. 'Cause the top of every mountain is the bottom of a.
Well, now, happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Good evening, UN Spacey Wolf Squadron. This is your Wolf Commander Valentine. I'm your werewolf, and tonight we are celebrating the holiday a little bit late. Yes, I know it was last week. So I hope you have spent that time with some special someone, whether it's your love, your friend, maybe even a close individual on a platonic level or romantic level, or even a deeper level that you cannot describe. Yes, tonight we're just doing a little chill stream talking about, romance, the holidays, and probably what we did on the day of the holiday known as Valentine's Day. I'm here with the stranger in the dark, the sixth ranger, stranger danger, dark stranger.
Hello, thank you for having me again. And yes, love, wonderful thing. Unless it's the Delta Airlines.
We have the weaver of our group, the humblest of writers, Humble Marty.
Hello, I'm Humble Marty and I rate things. Happy Pink Halloween to all the viewers and people who will come across us later.
Pink
Halloween.
Halloween.
So do you
Sure.
like massage that or do you finger it?
I think
Just a
he's hitting
note
on you,
of
Humble.
all the candy.
Ah.
I mean, how
Day
old are
before
you again, Humble?
Halloween, day before Halloween, I went out to get just some snacks and drinks, and everyone in line had gotten a bouquet of flowers and a box of chocolates.
Oh.
We
Classic
have
never work fails.
the Warrior of Light, Final Fantasy Fan 12.
Greetings to the viewers and my fellow Final Fantasy fans. This is Final Fantasy Fan 12, and welcome to our Valentine's Day special of the Real Millennials.
And we have, last but not least, hopefully not the only least, the Hound of the South, Dominic Powell.
Good morning, afternoon, or evening, everyone. This is the Hound of the South, Dominic Powell, and welcome to our chill stream as well as the Valentine's Day special of the Real Millennials.
Technically, it's just the UN Spaceys stream, but I had to use that to surprise you guys on how I have updated the brand new season 3 intro
Robot jocks, nice.
with a little bit of Excalibur and Tron Legacy.
But nobody ever talks about the Green Knight.
I
Come on,
Right?
Sean Connery
I
was
still-
great.
It's been a long time since I watched The Green Knight, and also I still need to read the book.
I'm just trying to make sure that I'm representing both generations, the Gen Xers, the millennials, and maybe even the Zoomers in a few areas here and there with that intro. But it's always hosted by us, the real millennials, of course. But, you know, I try to get very artsy-fartsy with it.
Artsy.
Yeah, but at least it's not being pretentious.
Are you sure about that? I don't know. I could probably punch up by adding some more clips. I mean, I was going to, I think I was going to add in maybe, I don't know, some Blue Crush, maybe a little Surf Ninjas.
Well, you also could have added in It's a Wonderful Life. For
No.
the group.
Hell no.
You add in MASH.
Yeah, I didn't match.
MASH has multiple generations that remember it.
But do you
Yeah.
guys like the song choice? That's the question.
Well, would you like to reveal
It's
to us
cool.
in the audience what's
It's
the
good.
song?
Sorry.
It's not bad. But can you
Good.
at least tell us what is the song that you have chosen?
I Won't Back Down by POD.
Good choice.
It's definitely the kind of song you see like Louis Armstrong and Sig. Sorry, and Sig Curtis from Full Metal Alchemist, like working out to in a gym and like muscle bro.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I always loved that scene, and it always amazed me like a woman actually wrote that like the best way to display a bromance,
Mhm.
and
Yeah, she
By
knew
and large,
how to write
Mhm.
both sexes.
reliable. Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead. Finish your statement.
Yeah, she knew how to write both sexes.
yeah, and not turn it weird or not let anybody influence it and make it weird. Like if now it works there, but if somebody did it here, it'd be like
Mhm.
that's so gay. They're so fucking like no.
One's married.
Yeah.
The other one is very, very in tune with his manliness. The peak of masculinity.
Mm-hmm. And something like men and boys should be inspired by.
Well, since we're talking about married couples and the like, who is your favorite romance couple since we're talking about Valentine's Day?
Hmm.
Woo. Oh man, that's a long list. What? If, I would actually have to
Yeah.
go with. I would go with the Cortezes from the Spy Kids series, and another one I would actually go with. Excuse me. The uh, Mr. and Mrs. Powers of the Power Pack.
Mhm. Humble. Is she with us?
Humble, wake up.
Humba, 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 humba.
Ooh.
Oh dear.
Oh my. Looks like she's having connection issues. Let's go to final.
Right at the gate, Cecil and Rosa from Final Fantasy IV.
It goes back to Final Fantasy. You know, have it no other way.
Nonetheless, good choices.
Oh, definitely.
Oh.
Now, your turn, Dark.
I've seen a lot because I grew up watching a lot of those classic movies that you seldomly see on TCM or something, but I saw them on like everywhere. It's like, those old black and whites and stuff, modern. There's a lot to pick from. But just to help me narrow it down, are we talking about people who become romantic or already romantic?
A bit of both. Just
both.
Yeah, either way's fine.
I wouldn't say there's you should narrow it down to one specific couple. Y'all can name
I would have to say the one that always just really comes to mind, and when it's done right, and like really right, because I watched the old series and then I watched the two movies with Angelica Houston, Raw Julia, the late Raw Julia.
May you rest in peace.
Yeah, Morticia and Gomez Adams.
Mm-hmm.
That
Nice.
chemistry it's on the outside it's weird, but just how much they actually love each other and that charisma and passion they have for each other. Sometimes a bit hammy, tuned up a bit, but it's really there. They're very
It's the Addams family. What do you
yeah.
expect?
It looks weird, but they look at weird on the outside. But really, when you just look at it, they're just pretty much a happy, tightly knit family. Like they're kind of like what the Brady Bunch sells themselves as. Apologies, tongue tied. Except they do it better, and they've been around before the Brady Bunch.
Here's a story. A man named Gomez who renovated a very cookie house. For me, it would have to be between Rick O'Connell and Evie Hammond and recently Tori Nichols and Robbie Keane from Cobra Kai.
All right.
I really just love their power couple dynamic. Both Rick O'Connor and Eve Bryant and Tori and who the hell is hoarding things? Is that you, Dark? Somebody's hoarding something.
It's Humble.
Oh my God, Humble.
Yes?
Hi.
We heard all the ruckus.
I was looking for one of my books that had my favorite couple in it.
So,
all right.
well, I mentioned a couple. She went hunting. treasure
Yes, he
hunting.
did.
But no, Rick and Evie are just they were just the complete total opposites that attracted each other through adversity and certain death and danger. You know, and they they whole they wholly complete each other throughout the franchise itself. Yes, even I will have to credit the Tomb of the Dragon Emperor, because at that point, if with better writing for Evie, you will see you will see that their love is still intact to the point where they're sharing moments with each other in the heat of battle. But like I said, they're complete and total opposites, and more than enough times she got him out of danger, out of certain death, multiple times throughout the first movie. I mean, and she's always his rock, especially in the second movie, where she's also backing him up in snipe position when they go in and storm in the enemy compound when the pygmies started attacking. So I really did like their dynamic, and Tori and Robbie King is. You will have to watch this for those who are watching this. Will watch this. You will have to watch Cobra Kai to get the gist of it, the full gist of it. But really, it was really a almost an unexpected pairing in the show within the show that worked. You know, especially with the way how they bond over each other with troubled households and troubled lifestyles, and you know being social outcasts alike, and being the ones to actually flip the script a little bit with their circumstances, and they all get trained by masters that really care for their well being and their it has their best interests at heart. In the case of Robbie was Daniel Larusso. Later on, Johnny, his own father himself. In the case of Tori, the original villain of the first Karate Kid, Kreese. And then again later on, Daniel Larusso, and later on, well, actually, before Kreese, there was also Johnny who trained her as well, actually.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, the way how they're again how their romance blossomed throughout the especially the I believe it started in the second season.
Yeah, season 2.
Yes, they begin to really hit it off, and all you know. I will say no more because I don't want to spoil the ending of the final season of Cobra Kai, which
Plus, I can hear Humble's frustration, just like stroking that book. I must tell what is written in these pages. My precious.
Might as well let her do it.
I'll end off on this right now. It's like after I finish the series itself, it's gonna be hard for me to actually rewatch the series from beginning to end,
Hmm.
which I'll touch upon more when everybody's gotten their fair share of finishing that series, so we can actually sit around and talk about it. But man, it's gonna be hard for me to actually go back. It was almost hard for me to actually rewatch it from the first season when the later season was coming out, actually. But man, when you it's getting to the point where certain shows I watch now that are really telling some really heavy hitting and very interpersonal life lessons. It's hard. It's really hard for me to go back to them in the beginning because you feel like you've grown with it
Mm-hmm.
and you don't want to look back to the past. Go on, Humble. Your favorite couples.
Okay. the one couple I wanted to share came from the book series that was called Dan Shamble Zombie PI.
Oh, all right.
Back from the dead and back on the case. Even being murdered doesn't keep a good detective down, and in the unnatural quarter, inhabited by ghosts, vampires, werewolves, mummies, and all sorts of creatures that go bump or thud in the night, a zombie PI fits right in. Dan Chambeau, aka Shambo, solves a string of madcap cases with his ghost girlfriend Cheyenne, his human best friend Officer Toby McGoohan, and his firebrand lawyer partner, Robin Dyer.
So this is the better iZombie.
No, this is just the better monster couple. Because Dan Shambo, when he came back from the dead, he was a zombie, but his girlfriend, Cheyenne, came back as a ghost. So they're kind of so one's kind of corporeal and hard to hug. But they find lots of ways to make it work, and it's really cute. Like when they went out on a date, she'd wear gloves so that they could walk arm in arm, and
All right.
and she's the one that's like the secretary in the detective's office. And there was one time she made sure that they had sparkling water for their guests. You bring in the golem, she hands him this cup that's water that's probably like $5 a pop. So he takes it and pours it down his clay-made neck. He's like, "Ooh, that's tingly." And it is a charming book with charming characters and a nice mystery. And also
Alright.
blood and gore if you're really into that. So, good book.
Again, the better iZombie.
Which one, the
Yeah.
comic or the show?
The
Because
comic.
they're
The
they
comic,
do
man.
it differently from each other.
The comic.
Okay, the comic.
I never even heard of iZombie.
Rita, don't watch the TV show.
Say it's the TV show is one of the better CW shows.
Oh, that
Only
one.
because even though it deteriorates in storytelling to some degree towards the final season, it is not insultingly deteriorating.
Ooh.
I came out of that show. I was like, well, at least it didn't do what the other CW shows start to do. The longer they kept going,
Touche.
at least
I will give Wolf that.
at least iZombie knew when to end.
That is
Man,
also
I
true.
agree with the ending, but at least it ended.
A zombie that knows how to stay down? Amazing.
Mhm.
Yeah, but if
But
you
yeah,
ask,
iZombie is one of the few comic book shows that I actually liked, and from beginning to end. And like I said, when it went off the rails for a bit, it knew when to pick itself back up.
actually, I stopped watching iZombie as season 3.
Mm.
So, well, even though I'm not sure, although I did not see the finale, and then not a lot of people don't like it. Like I said, touche that this series not only knew when to end, but also when to pick itself back up. Because it's still a missed opportunity that they didn't like adapt the comic book series in its entirety. Because
Yeah,
in the source material, it's not limited to just zombies.
It went heavily in the police procedural,
Yeah,
which iZombie is nothing like that in the comic.
you could say the same thing about Lucifer.
But we're kind of going off the topic here.
I know.
Valentine's romance.
I'll pick it back up.
I was gonna
Lucifer,
say,
Lucifer, I will say is a nice departure from the comics to some degree, and there are some romance. Speaking in the spirit of the holiday.
yeah, with Lucifer and Cleo.
Yeah, that was a really nice pairing. It was almost a Beauty and the Beast pairing. ish.
Very, very much.
Now, I do mean the Linda Hamilton TV show, not the Disney show, not the Disney movie.
Well, it's
It's
just
like they took inspiration from that series, and do not watch the remake.
no, no. It's a complete departure from the original TV series, which it's an urban fantasy.
Hmm.
And also had a young Ron Perlman before he became an a-hole.
I think he always was an a hole, but back then he was a likable a hole.
True.
But yeah, nice pairing, especially with Linda Hamilton and Ron Perlman in Beauty and the Beast. I vaguely watched that series, but seeing them together was always a treat to watch. That huh? You need something?
Wife.
I heard water. I'm like, oh no, somebody in the bathroom again. No, no,
That's
no.
disgusting.
Hey, you
That
weren't
and
there.
that and Mark Singer's character and oh, I forgot her name, but the couple in V.
Oh, wait. Now the original V or
I
the
said
re-
Mark Singer, so yes, the original.
Okay. Shoot, I know who you're talking about, but her name is escaping me.
Yeah, I
But
think her
but they
name is.
but they were a good couple too.
Yeah, they were an Iron Force couple during a war. That and oh, what was another one? Goliath and Elisa Maza.
From Gargoyle.
Hmm.
Yeah, that one worked pretty well.
I agree.
Even though it's interspecies. But yeah, I can watch the original Gargoyles all day, every day, and just see them work together so much. Ah, Juliet Marks. It was Mark Singer, Faye Grant's characters. I keep forgetting their names. It's been Mike and Mike and Juliet. Those two were quite an item. Even even though again they were complete opposites to one another as well. But they were very iron forged
Mm.
within the resistance, and when it got to the final conflict, that's when their romance began to blossom more. She started to be a mother figure to his son when they got his son out of the visitors compounds, who sadly was heavily indoctrinated. Got no reaction out of you. Okay,
Didn't.
Hey,
tough crowd.
I was trying not to make the background noise get in the way.
Mm.
same thing on my end.
So perceptive, some of them exhibit other unusual behavior, such as suddenly demonstrating an opposite hand preference to the one they were known to have. I'm reading the wiki.
Cheater.
Eh. Yeah, the one I find not mentioned often was Renji and Rukia from Bleach.
Yeah, and also example of childhood friends.
It was just one of those things that was kind of just thrown out there. Like, I know a lot of people, the fans, the shipping crowds, kind of on it, but most of the thing was just friend shit. It was never romantic until epilogue, time skip epilogue, and oh, they banged, they had a
Be
kid.
right
Like,
back.
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Most of that stuff
after
got
1,000 Year
stuck in
Blood
the
War.
books.
Mm,
And
The part that made it pretty funny for me was it was in the books. It would have been so much funnier if it were actually in the anime. It turns out there is a lot of paperwork involved when trying to marry into the royal family.
I believe it.
So they had like this gorgeous ceremony, all this romantic stuff, but in between it was paperwork. And Renji is like, wow, this is just like working for you, boss. And Byaku's like, shut up.
And of course, like even when the manga was still active before it ended in the aftermath of 1,000 Year Blood War, people really hoping for Rukia and Ichigo to get together instead, even though Kubo, who intended for him and Orihime to be the end goal couple.
I just wanted things to make sense.
I mean, you're not the only one, because even though Bleach won, it may have earned its accolades. It's like narratively speaking, it's rough.
The chemistry when they're trying, sometimes to try and make your end goal couple be the end goal couple, you have to have like a little bit of chemistry going, and most of that ended up in filler arcs and movies instead of in the main manga.
Yeah.
If Orihime had like a more active role instead of being the overpowered ability in Clutch, she probably would have had more reception.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing people forgot about is where Ichigo and Rukia only got together for like a few months, fought like cats and dogs, kind of like brother and sister of, no, he's touching me. Oh no, she's touching me. Rukia and Renji had centuries.
Yeah.
Of history.
Because they are natural souls instead of being formerly alive.
I think the funniest one.
Oh no, actually, Rukia and her older sister Byaku's wife were actually former alive.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. I take that back. Yeah, Rukia and Hisana, they were formerly alive. Renji is the natural born soul.
Yep.
I don't know. They never really said if he was or not. I just know that they were part of the commoner filth low class stuff, and that's where a lot of the former alive souls end up, because it's like gutter trash.
Yeah.
It depends on. I think it also depends on like who does the passing on, or what they called it, konso. Like if it were one of the if it were one of the higher ranks, you'd have probably been reincarnated among like the noble families closer to the center.
In romance stuff. They interested in some anime stuff because we just got up to 4 viewers watching now.
The funniest one. Yeah, the funniest part about that is it's got a lot of office stuff for an army focused afterlife.
Yeah,
like if you go through the pearly gates, they give you a golden ticket, say good luck out there, and you wake up isekai'd into either one of major areas, and the map looks like a target for a dartboard game.
It's also important to keep in mind. Is that and that with Bleach, like it's based on Buddhism. So while we are showcasing hell, Soul Society is not really heaven; it's a purgatory.
Yeah, that's a good
Let's
point.
move on to my next point. Tragic couple.
like.
Passengers with their Delta Airlines tickets.
Okay, that's a good one. Man, for tragic
Who?
couples. Well, I, I honestly, that badge goes to one of them. Wolverine, aka Logan, aka James Howlett, and Mariko Yoshida of Marvel Comics. Because really, even though like the guy's functionally immortal, well, he has taken too much L's, and even with his wins yet like fate, even editorial, so I decided to screw him over. But him and Mariko, like they were a great couple, had wonderful chemistry, and just as they were about to get married, unfortunately that didn't happen, and she ended up being assassinated.
And then in some continuity, she comes back as a cyborg who hates Wolverine. And it's like, ouch.
Ouch, indeed. Other time, and of course, in another other universe within the Marvel multiverse, her assassination was prevented.
I'm looking at Draco's
And
comment in the chat is saying it's kind of tragic, but it's also funny but true.
Mm-hmm.
he's not wrong.
And Leia's with us, and she just informs us that she has internet issues. Well, you missed the
Ooh.
special that I had for you, Leia.
She'll watch it in the backwatch.
Yes, she will. My funny Valentine.
Marty, do you have any examples of tragic couples?
There was one I got to hear about this morning while I was reading the radio play, and it was Conan's origin story when he was going after that one snake cult that killed his parents. He actually
Ooh.
had a first love with a queen of thieves. I think her name starts
The
with
Pirate Queen.
Yeah,
No, it's a pirate queen.
yeah, yes. And
I think I'm hesitant to say Valeria.
No, that was the movie. The pirate lady, I believe it started with an S.
We need Samurai for this one.
Samuli.
Samurai.
yeah, Semele. She took the archer decided instead of an arrow, we're going to use a live snake because reasons, and shoot Conan. And this lady decided to jump in the line of fire. And
You're talking about Pirate Queen Beliot that
Yeah.
hit EXE? Yeah, Beliot.
yes,
There
that
we are.
one.
Thank you, Hate.
And she died in his arms and then came back from the dead just to save his life, and I don't know what happened after that. I haven't gotten all the way through the story yet. I was in the dentist's office getting my teeth fixed.
Ouch.
Indeed.
Hopefully you had good insurance.
I do.
Oh, good. Smart girl. Insurance sucks ass. I'm so picky. Do you have this? No. Well, you need this, but I have this. It just works throughout the state. Nope, doesn't work. We want these other ones.
Would you like some fake teeth? No. I want you to fix my real teeth.
And what do I look like? No, not Alec Baldwin. I just forgot his name. The guy who played Batman BVS.
Ben
Affleck.
Affleck.
Ben Affleck, yeah. He replaced all of his teeth with porcelain.
Oh God.
supposedly.
Ugh.
I think before Armageddon, that's why he had that like big, bright white smile.
Jesus.
Why?
Yeah. Beats
Fuck
me.
should I know?
Maybe you just got tired of brushing.
You'd still have to brush.
My tragic couple is hobo with a shotgun.
Huh.
I guess I take it you guys have not seen it.
I've seen it, but I'm just
I
trying to think.
have not
Where
heard
was
about this
the?
until now.
I'm new to this.
It's the hooker and the hobo. They were going to go off. Well, if you guys haven't seen it, I'm gonna shut up now. I ain't gonna spoil it.
I've seen it. It's just.
I'm not
I
talking
remember
about
she
you. I'm talking
wanted to
about
be a
these knuckleheads.
teacher, but then she just joins the assassin guy after the other guy gets killed, and
Ouch.
yeah.
No, I'll move on to a different one. I'm gonna go with Kyle Reese and Sarah Connor. Even though
Okay.
even though it was brief,
It
they
was
were on the road.
pedophilia.
What?
He didn't
What?
even exist legally at that time.
Right. We're not gonna go down that rabbit hole, are we?
We could.
Well, you are Dark Stranger. That's your usual MO. You go down to those technicalities that just gets really, really dark when you think about it too much.
Yeah.
But other than that, oh, there's
Just
also
stuck there in the head, isn't there?
no, there's also of course we can always use the tried and true Romeo and Juliet.
Oh yes.
Yeah, they are the. Oh yeah, and there's also Tristan and Isolde.
Mm-hmm.
They're the definition of tragic couples.
Or every Greek mythology.
Yeah, it's really fucked up.
Not as crazy as Poseidon deciding the one dude's wife should fall in love with a cow.
Oh god, I remember that story so well.
That
Thanks, Persona
is
3.
Yeah,
every
especially
Greek-
when that wife decides to go to his personal mechanic genius alchemist guy and says, "Make me a fursuit so I can get funky with this bull."
I did say every Greek mythology.
I
True.
know.
Okay, I think I'll stop. I'll stop making people need brain bleach.
You're basically just going into complete specifics, stating one was worse than the others. I'm
Well,
like, dude,
actually,
they're all worse.
actually,
I'm sure there's no bar at this point when it comes to Greek mythology of how fucked up it is.
well, of
Welcome
course
to the
there's
rabbit
no.
hole.
Of course, there's
We
no
got fun
bar.
and games.
Zeus had to pick up chicks as a swan at one point.
Uh-huh.
And raped them as a swan too. He
Yeah.
was
Except
into
for
bestiality.
Nyx, actually.
I mean, the man was into bestiality.
It would have been
Interesting.
it would have been more fitting if he decided to come upon that woman as a duck.
At
I
least
mean,
it wasn't a puppy.
Oh god.
Ugh.
Puppy love.
I think Hera would punt him. Because when it came to
Oh.
Zeus, she did not like his antics.
Well, yeah, no duh. I mean, God of
Yeah.
War 3 was even shown that.
Well, can you also blame Zeus? He's like, damn, I'm married to this fine woman, but she's also my sister. I think I need to explore non-relative relations.
It's one thing that always gets me every single time when it came down to Hera and how she quote unquote punishes Zeus for his philandry. Is that she takes her anger out on the mothers and the bastard children, right?
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Either she murders them, make them lose their minds, or even or say curse them in horrible ways. When really the best revenge she could have done is offer them her protection, and if the kids just so happens to be orphaned, take them in and raise them to be not like their father or hate their father. Then again, Zeus probably wouldn't have cared anyways if they hated him because he's Zeus.
Yes. Well, like, at least their Roman counterparts aren't major a holes like them.
But then again, it's always that
Somewhat.
age old. I'm not raising somebody else's child because they didn't come from me.
Zeus, the original black man for the family household.
Oh.
The thing is, he's not wrong.
Or America's portrayal of black men, unfortunately. Especially when it comes down to the aspect of how we got here in the first place. When you factor that in, but that's safe for our Black History Month tear down stream.
Yeah, so
Yeah, dig.
be on the lookout. Be on the lookout for that.
Which
It's a
I cannot wait
tradition
to
at
tell
this
you the
point.
news about that.
It's a tradition at this point. I promise you guys, it won't be all negative. We'll locate some worthwhile black figures to speak about positively as well.
Well, not
And
to
oh
mention,
yeah,
like,
we're gonna have some good news about that.
well,
Because
not
we're not gonna be celebrating that anymore.
Nigger, why are you hyping it up?
Because Google Calendar decided to pull a fast one on some people.
hey, he'll save the details when we do that episode of the Real Millennials. After we do part 4 of the communications quadrilogy.
Jesus Christ, Kevin McAllister here, all hyping us up and everything.
It's the horns. He's very horny tonight.
Oh boy, this is a good night. This is a really good night. We need this.
But to just
yeah,
give you one detail, it involves Google.
oh, you funny. But no, next point will be what did y'all do on
hold
that
up.
holiday?
Final
Wait.
and me didn't have a tragic couple. Go Final.
Oh, y'all speaking all crisscrossy. Like I thought y'all already took care of that. But go
No.
ahead, Final.
Tragic couple, Anakin and Padme from the Star Wars prequel trilogy.
Good choice.
Sweet home. Okay, I better
Hey,
not
man.
do that again.
They're not
that
brother and
sound again.
sister, humble.
Sister, man.
But he was
Sorry.
in the Sweet Home. No, that was Reese Witherspoon. Never
That was the wrong one. That was Luke and
Leia.
Girl, clean
and
your
Leia.
ears, open your ears. He said Anakin and Padme,
Padme.
not Luke and Leia.
Okay, Anakin and Padme. My bad. I haven't been watching Star Wars in a while. Can't you tell?
Have you been reading any of the
Well,
books?
yeah,
or
I can't blame
comics?
you though.
Or play the game?
It's early shows.
I watched the animated shorts that were done by Jendy Tartakovsky.
The best ones.
Can we really call them shorts? I guess we can call them shorts.
But yeah, no,
All 3 Clone Wars.
no, but Anakin and Padme, they are definitely up there when it comes to tragic characters because it's established throughout the prequel trilogy really that Anakin was not meant to be written as a role model, and that was like George's intentions.
I mean, yeah, because we already know the story that Anakin already becomes Darth Vader in the straight from the original trilogy. So then we see the prequel trilogy, we see it happen here, we already know what's gonna happen.
It's one of the few prequels that almost gets it right, but it also commits the cardinal sins
Mm.
that I
Mm-hmm.
have for prequels, and that
And
is a string of coincidences that really does not make sense when you actually look at the prequel next to the original slash sequel. And we're not gonna get that far into that to talk about that. Otherwise, we'll be here all night.
we
But yeah,
will touch
All
on
night
prequels in a
long.
future episode of the Real Millennials.
no, it'll just be a regular show. But no, my thing is the Star Wars prequels they commit a whole nest of sins that I've talked about years ago about what I think makes a really good prequel and or the do's and don'ts when writing a prequel to your story. One of them is the prequel should never contradict what was said in its sequel or in the main story. That not everything needs an origin story, and the prequel is not supposed to be that origin story to whatever it is that thing is, or a certain item, so to speak, or anything that to do with a character personally should not always have an origin story for it. And if you go and tell that origin story, it should not you should not be relying on a coincidence.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
But like I said, that's many of my pet peeves when it comes to prequels. After looking at the Star Wars prequels so many times and seeing other prequel movies do it as well, I was picking up on that. It's like, oh my goodness, no.
Mm.
Well,
Some
is that
things
limited
just
to
don't
just
need no
films?
explanation. And to be honest, prequels are really just. I'm gonna pull Samurai. They're just a waste of. There's a waste of time,
Hey, now it's a
especially
case by case basis.
it
Yeah.
is, but majority of the time it's best left to people's interpretation of what was told currently within the story, the first
Mm.
story, I mean,
Mm.
and you're left to we're always left for imagining things and inferring things. We don't really need a story behind it. But I digress.
Yeah.
Mm.
Prequels are a touchy topic.
Mm. In summation, yes.
Well,
Mm.
you can either deepen the lore or screw it over,
Hmm.
kind of like Doctor Who.
Only
Oh,
only movie that actually did it correctly was The Witcher Night of the Wolf. Nightmare of the Wolf.
Mm.
yeah,
But that's only because that was a an event being told and not an entire history. You know,
right.
that's the reason why it worked the way it did, or at least for me, it worked the way it did. Even though it got some lore, it got some of the lore kind of wrong in places. From what I heard from other people, I have not read any of the Witcher books. I wanted to, but it's hard to acquire them, and knowing which title is the first book, second book, third book, and so on and so forth. Because the
Well,
motherfucker did not number them.
yeah, you could say they're in an anachronistic order, like the Chronicles of Narnia books.
Oh god, the Narnia books. Don't even get me started on
But
those.
before we go too far off track,
Well,
Mhm.
before we
okay.
switch to the next, I'll just throw out mine. I kind of got two. They're kind of along the same thing, but I'll just stick with the one. Spider-Man and Gwen Stacy.
Mm.
Ooh.
Classic, but you can't get more worse than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially with how people tend to misremember like Gwen Stacy before her death.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Because if they read the source material, they're like all the way to the famous story, like the night Gwen Stacy died, and before, since passed, and we're not,
Ah.
but that's beside the point. But yeah, like Gwen Stacy, she was known to not be a huge fan of Spider-Man because she unfairly blamed him, i.e., Peter, for the
For her
death of her
dad.
dad.
I think surprisingly, the one movie series that actually did the Gwen Stacy and Spider-Man pairing justice was one of the movies.
The
You gotta
Amazing
be-
Spider-Man.
Yeah, I think that was the one.
It was.
Yeah, because they did the whole fall and save thing, but she still kind of neck snapped.
Oh, they even kept the sound effects in there. That was the part that was most amazing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And they didn't have to over dramatize it. Just quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was quick.
It
yeah.
it had its flaws and its high points too. Just sadly, most people remember. Oh, the movie with Paul Giamatti in a rhino suit.
Like,
Yeah,
dude, is that the only
because
thing
it committed
you
the
focus on?
one thing about Spider-Man, The Amazing Spider-Man 2, from why it was so bad, it committed it's Spider-Man 3 but worse. Three villains to deal with at the same time, creepy behavior, an uneven narrative. Sony, you learned nothing from Spider-Man 3.
And
You had something
I'll take it over. I'll take it over whatever they're trying to do with
with Tom
Peter
Holland.
in the MCU Spider-Man.
uh,
Yeah.
Tom
Point taken.
Holland.
Well, Tom
Holland.
Holland was a pretty decent actor for the Spider-Man role, but when they were trying to put him with whoever that MJ was,
Zendaya.
Zendaya,
Yeah.
Zendaya.
it was like you've got people going, yeah, you have people thirsting after his aunt instead of the
Marissa Tomei.
MJ who looks like Dirty Harry went to prom.
And plus,
I'm
there's pics of her from the wrestler and stuff still.
Yep. I'm still
Mhm.
going to defend the casting choice. I'm still going to defend it because, once again, my only issue was they were making her too much like a cool aunt and not a nurturing aunt. Not at least, not until No Way Home. I'm sure they fixed that up in No Way Home because they made her death very tragic.
Yeah, but then
Spoilers.
It was still stupid though with having her be the one to give with great power comes great responsibility as though Peter learned nothing from that because that's literally the whole reason the death of his uncle Ben was the whole reason why
Once
Peter
again,
became a
going back
hero.
to that as well, my second main issue is the fact that there's never no moment where she's a widow. You know,
Yeah, the only
they,
only
they never continue to point out that she is still a widow. You know, like even if you're moving on to greener pastures as a widow, you're not going to forget your first love that passed away.
hmm and the
And
only
there's always time where there's little to nothing to where I saw where she was a widow. You know, even in hell, even in Amazing Spider-Man 2, you know, Aunt May still thinks about Uncle Ben.
and what's also funny is the Marissa Tomei Aunt May. You never get any idea if she is a widow or not, but it's funny when yeah, it was
She
Tobey
acts more like a
Maguire's
single
Spider Man
mom.
brings up Uncle Ben, and you have Tom Holland's Spider Man being like, "Oh, yeah, I totally know who that is."
She acts more like a
Okay.
single mom than an aunt.
Yeah.
Mm.
but
Methinks the
I'm
director wrote. Methinks the director read Trouble.
Oh my
no.
fucking god.
Cue the song, Humble.
Sweet home Alabama.
Mhm.
Da-da-da-da-da.
And this was made during Mark Miller's edgelord days before he was scared straight.
Oh my god. Mark Miller, man. He
Um,
has some interesting fetishes to write down.
Probably more so than John Byrne.
No, John Byrne is normal compared to Mark Miller. Mark Miller had a cannibalism fetish. When last when have you ever heard of George Byrne wanting to eat people like Mark Millar?
Wait, George Byrne? You mean John Byrne?
John Byrne, my bad. John Byrne.
Yeah, John Byrne has flaws, but most of his biggest flaws seems to be he has a kind of an overinflated Irish ego.
And he's vindictive.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
but at least he makes good work.
Yes, he
Like an
does.
Irishman.
Yeah,
He's very
Irish,
vindictive.
well, Irish and Canadian.
Oh, that's a bad combination. That is a bad cocktail. That is a cocktail waiting to happen. Jesus Christ. How does this man even survive with them genes?
and somehow he's still more tolerable and leagues better than Alan Moore.
And Mark Wade.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and Mark Wade.
next next in the line, least or rather hateable couple. And
Ugly.
I'm not talking about pairing wise, this is the pairing that you don't agree with. I'm talking about the couple that is together that you love to hate or you just outright hate.
Oh,
Making it easy on you guys. Like a couple that you actually hate or love to hate, or you just enjoy, you just tolerate their presence because they're probably a bit more interesting than any other character, but you love to hate them. I'll
Oh.
start. I'll start.
Okay.
Cersei and Jamie Lannister.
Know it.
Cue the
Sweet
music.
Home Alabama.
Literally.
Yeah, like do my reaction. Actually, like when I did preview like a song, Song of Ice first, like first book, Game of Thrones, and then season 1 happened. My reaction was, dude, have you learned nothing from the Greek pantheon?
Why does a lot of the Euro people or people who really love the Euro stuff make a lot of incest stuff? It's always
I have
weird.
no
Really
idea.
not
Um,
always the case.
I don't know. I went through a bunch of Bond Destiny fans and oh, we're cousins. Oh, we're half siblings. Like, okay.
What?
They like to play like it's a stereotype. Like it wasn't really
it's a
completely
fetish.
either that or they just really do believe that it was like that's all there is to write about European history, that they like to fuck their cousins or uncles twice removed and shit. It's like it's not that was not always the case.
Right?
It's within the royal family, sure, but not always the case.
And not every royal family practices that crap.
Although in some cases that would have been preferable because then we wouldn't have the Meghan Markle drama you keep on hearing about.
Or
Mhm.
So
the
far, it's not.
Lindenberg jaw.
Ugh.
Ooh.
But no, the Lancers are just that I look, even though Jamie is really he's really a good guy that's among the bad people.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't excuse it, even though he was coaxed into doing it, which is very, very tragic, you
Mhm.
know, and he knows it's wrong. That's another thing. He knows it's wrong. He knows he doesn't like this. But she already had him in her snare. That Gorilla Grit pussy was really good, I suppose. Or at least she likes to think it is because she fucks everybody else behind her brother's back, even her cousin Loris
Mm.
Lancel. She didn't fuck Loris fuck dudes. Let's get that out there.
Just be happy she didn't do her sons.
Are
Oh,
we sure she
goodness.
wasn't a blow up doll instead?
Oh my goodness.
Oh
I'm surprised
If
she hasn't even gotten AIDS from that shit.
I mean, really now, like if Joffrey got any older, I don't
Well,
know.
let's be fair. Game of Grown, yeah, Game of Groans.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones world didn't have the CDC to help create AIDS.
hmm I'm just saying, it's like maybe I don't think it would have been. I don't think it would have been Joffrey. If I would have been Tommen, she probably would have went after Tommen with her old crotchety ass, coochie cobweb ass.
Ew, no, come on, man.
Come and kiss
Ah.
your
We don't need that
mother,
imagery.
Tommen.
And you'll get a cookie afterwards. You can even dunk it in mommy's. Yeah.
Dunk it
Imagine-
in mommy's cat.
Oh goodness. Oh man, she'll
Dunk
be
it in
worse than it.
mommy's Westboros.
She'll be way more decrepit than she'll be way more decrepit than what's her name? Visenya.
Oof.
Visenya Targaryen. Now I remember what happened to Visenya over the years. And a lot of people tend to overlook this, or they don't really talk about it that much about Visenya as she got older. It's like they the way how Martin described her, the best way to describe was that she was very very haggard as she got older. Shoot, Rhaenys got luck. Rhaenys was the lucky one because she died young, but Visenya
Yeah.
she lived long enough to be a hag, a complete hag, and for what? After all the things she tried to do for the kingdom and for her brother before he died before her, Aegon. For those who don't know, Aegon the Conqueror, Aegon the Dragon. You know, she did everything, even forming the formation of the King's Guard. You know, her her end came with old age and everything. And I think Martin hinted that she was late stage dementia as well.
Ouch.
Oof.
I think she
That
was
broke.
I think she was in state of dementia at that point because she had. They don't really say he doesn't really state how she died, but like it was like the next morning she passed away, and they and it's like right after her passing, just nobody talked to her because everybody. The thing is, everybody was scared of Visenya. That's how bad it was, especially under Maegor the Cruel's reign, because she was still around. She was still around during his reign after his brother had passed away due to a stomach sickness. He couldn't even shit properly afterwards too.
Ooh.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was bad. That that lineage was muddy, but like around the time when Visenya was still around, that was really bad. I would say Aegon's sons were quite an embarrassment. One was too wily and spineless to even rule as a king. Man, if Eloise was here, she'll run her mouth, but that's not the point. Like the other one was way too willful and merciless.
Hmm. So, anybody
Two
else
sides
got
of a
Honestly, I
coin
couldn't be
almost.
couples you
more
really
grateful
hate?
if Draco. Honestly, I couldn't be more grateful. Sorry, Doug.
Oh, go
I
on.
couldn't be more grateful that if Draco was not here in this panel, if I were to talk about Cecil and Rosa at length, because he doesn't shut the fuck up that those guys are the only married couple in a Final Fantasy game ever.
What's his
Like, I am
point?
not even kidding.
What's his point?
I have no other clue because I think probably because of how much other couples in Final Fantasy games like don't end up getting married or some sorts, but yet Cecil and Rosa are the only ones, and yet he likes to point that out. as much as he likes to talk about Emperor Mateus from Final Fantasy II ad nauseum. Just be like, you ever get the feeling when you're talking to your elders and yet they just ramble on so much, it's just like, oh god, get me out of here.
We'll leave it at that, Final, because you know
Yeah.
my rule.
No mudslinging.
Now, so to get back, hateable couples or couples we love to hate or barely tolerate. After
So,
Wolf, who's up next?
how messed up do you want me to talk about?
Go all out.
Release
because we
the
know you're
humble.
good. Because we know you're very classy about it.
Yes, we. Yes, we know
Okay.
you. We know you are.
Okay. One pairing that actually I'm just gonna name an entire series. Redo of Healer.
Oh god.
I asked for
It
this.
is a magic system based on forking over the healer of the group. He goes on a big revenge quest, and most of it is creative death by Snoo Snoo.
Mm-mm.
Oh.
That is all I can say, unless you want traumatized.
Oh, I know of
So-
it.
Please
I've heard the
don't.
breakdowns.
Though, since now I've decided I've turned stomachs, I'll go to something a little bit more PG rated, which was Class of the Titans, when the hero Atlanta, whose ancestor was Atalanta, had French kissed a giant red and black spider.
Mm-mm.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
That was Arachne. And the things they did not show in the TV show was, in some cases, she was also a bit of a cocky lady. She'd at one point they said it was because she was a better weaver than Athena. My favorite version of it, though, was she turned out to be a talented shit poster, and she made a tapestry making fun of the gods. And she got
Well, I guess
punished.
Athena had every reason to turn her into a spider.
Yes, and then she got turned into a spider. And at the end of the story, Atlanta's telling Athena, it's kind of not fair. You turned her into an animal based on a grudge.
Athena.
And yes, Athena. That Athena turned her into an animal based on a grudge. And eventually she got turned back, and that was the happy story ending. And the other couple that was annoying but very funny was when Narcissus got the guy that was the descendant of Narcissus. Yes, the self-absorbed male model got followed around by the girl Echo.
I remember that one.
Mhm.
Yes.
Echo or EO?
It was Echo.
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 Okay.
And she
Yeah,
actually didn't
one of these
do
days.
any. And she actually didn't do anything crazy to him.
Not really.
No, she didn't.
Not really.
Lucky.
If you ask me, I mean, one of these days we can do like a retrospective of Class of the Titans. But it really should have continued on because it had a lot going for it.
You assume that I've seen it.
We'll fix that. Well, I think, but you can find it on YouTube, and you won't regret it.
Yeah, I ended up watching it on college during the times when one of the one of the mortifying classes that you could have was modern art class, and I found out what happens when someone not qualified to do social experiments does social experiments.
Oof.
You'd have the crazy ones, which they decided to basically do Fallout, which was lock themselves in a bunker and say it was the end of the world. with party drugs.
Mm-mm.
And then you have the harmless one, which was they opened an art gallery and it was just a potluck. And then you have the one that was the introduction to the class, and it was a guy who did some weird things. And I will just leave it at that.
That should be on my shirt, and I will just leave it at that.
Well, I will say, to Class of the Titans credits, it did not even try to shy away from the Greek pantheon's unsavory acts.
Well, it even tried to make sure to show both sides of the story, which I think is very rare nowadays.
Oh yeah, very much. And not to mention it. And when after the kids are introduced to their ancestors, they express on how much they don't want to be the people that they were centuries ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yet, even after all these years, I can't help but ask. I want to ask the people that made the show, why do they give Hades such a high voice?
I thought it was kind of funny.
I know it's hilarious, but you would think like he would like the high voice when it's funny, but when it gets serious, it actually deepens.
Sounds like a voice actor thing.
Prefer the Hades game version of Hades.
Right. What? Anyone else?
I'm trying to think of one, but it's taken me quite a while.
Dark, you got one?
Dark?
Oh boy. Gee. Where
Don't
do you
hold anything
start on
back.
that one? Well, there's a lot you could pick from. That's the problem. You see enough shit. Like, there's plenty you could find in the Gundam series.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I should have thought of that.
Yeah, anime's
Quite a
got
lot
a
of mecha
lot of
anime.
despicable people.
Yeah,
Has a couple,
anime,
too.
manga, light novels, and even regular novels.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the female romance stories, those ones take the cake.
Mm.
Mm,
Very contemptible. Oh my god. Her legs are not attached to her hip bones.
Of course, he's doing a stream, but he's also looking up the porn.
Kinda.
What did you look up?
I didn't look up anything. I just came across a Luna picture where her legs look like they're not in her hip bone sockets.
Ooh.
ooh.
Like they got the pelvis right, but I hate when there are times I'm just like looking at these artists when they do this. They do this a lot. It looks like the body is a fucking Jenga puzzle, and you split and you separate the Jenga blocks.
Yeah, that is rather annoying.
Rather a domino rally where they're trying. It's a case where they're trying to do the body, the twisting of the body, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And commonly, it's I see it, and commonly when the female character is laying flat on their chest, and they're doing it at a foreshortened angle. You can tell that they didn't think to shorten it up to make the torso look like it's connected with a spine. So like every time when you see it, they don't really where they mess up as they don't draw the circles intersecting with each other like a Venn diagram, so to speak. So it looks like they have an extra vertebrae in their spine, or they just have a snake torso in the center. But in the case of what I was looking at, she looked like She looked like her pelvis melted at the bottom, and her legs are laying inches away from from her pelvis, and it looks freaky.
Sounds like it.
First time, my friend. First time. I
Eh,
forgive you. I forgive you. Learn your anatomy.
But I got one. I'm thinking of it, and I'm mentioning like the Gundam, the anime stuff, and I'm thinking, you know, there is a lot there, but I'm trying to think what really hits home these days. Just makes you just gross, like really hate it. And then it just clicked. Oh yeah, all the recent shit, and because that makes all that even like redo of a healer with all the rape and stuff. It's like, yeah, that's bad and sick, but it's a lot better than say, uh, and I just forgot her name. Probably, I'm. I do try to forget their names for good reason, but the Netflix She-Ra show, She-Ra and the Kitty Cat.
Shira and
Mm,
Catra.
Yes.
She's not even a princess. It's supposed to be
Eh,
She-Ra and the Princesses of
oh
Power.
god.
But yeah, they just a
Yeah.
lot of the relationships in that was toxic and dumb and what makes it so much more hateable is just not only the context of it, but how it's celebrated and propped up. It's
Mm.
gross.
it's propped up until they actually think about it.
Which so far I don't think they have.
It takes a while. Usually, maybe a few years to a decade sometimes.
Eh. But that really just icks you.
Unfortunately, Arcane is no stranger to that too. With Kate and Vi.
I mean, fuck, I hate pedophiles, but Char making moves on underage girls is a lot better relationship than that.
That is
Ah.
sad. No wonder I never got into those TV shows. Then again, Stolas and Blitz.
I got another one for you
They're all
guys.
over the place.
What?
Yeah?
We lose.
Wolf?
We lose Dom.
Oh,
We got
we
Dom
lost
back.
Dom again.
Well, hi! Internet troubles?
I take that as a yes
Yes,
because I heard
internet
Humble's echo.
troubles.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But what's another one that you could think of, Wolf?
Couples that are the bad guys, but you love to love them.
We're moving on a different topic. Okay.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, did
We're
right
running
quick?
out of
Yeah,
Did
time right
Final?
now.
Did you think of something?
Yeah,
or-
didn't. Okay, yeah, I tried. There was one on my mind, but I was trying to think of another one. But I was just like, you know what? Fuck, I'm just gonna say it right now. Hermione and Ron, because it just doesn't really make any form of sense.
That's
Because
more of a
Hermione's
pair that you
always
don't agree with. I'm talking about an established couple that you either love to hate or have contempt. It could be a villain couple for all I care.
okay.
Well, I
But what?
mean, Hermione and Ron, they are an established couple in Harry Potter series.
Yeah,
Okay, go ahead.
which then again, it really does not make any sense when you think about the characters. Because Hermione is, if you read any of the books or seen any of the movies, she's always the one to be getting the others into trouble. Her, and yes, Ron and Harry. Whilst Ron is just the more laid-back guy, he knows the Wizarding World by a long yeah, because he's lived there in the books. Because the movies, they try to make him into just like a comedic guy, which he's not that.
Focus fun.
But with something like this, getting involved into trouble so many times, you'd think it'd be raising more than a few eyebrows with Hermione instead of just an abrupt kiss at the end after killing or destroying one of the
Well,
the
Okay.
Horcruxes in the Chamber of Secrets after getting the tooth from the skeleton, the basilisk skeleton.
Dude,
And I think
Hermione was the kind of person who would shrink a guy, stick him in a jar, and shake him up for intel.
No.
Even more reason as to why Ron would not want to be dating Hermione as much as the books did and the movies. But I digress. I'm not saying if I supporting Draco and Hermione. Hell no. Because these two really hate each
That
other.
don't exist. That's just something.
But Draco doesn't know how to. I mean, no,
that's
no,
not
that's mudsling. Never mind.
That's
Oh, right, different Draco. Different. Oh,
Draco and Hermione is a wet dream. Don't entertain that.
no, I got one better for you, Fawn, right quick. And
Yeah.
it's ruined a lot of novels and the whole vampire scene. You can't.
Mm,
You have to mention it. Bella and Edward.
Dang
of
it,
course.
man.
Of course.
You just took my-
Eh.
You just took my pick. But yes, they're the definition of one of the worst couples in fiction of all time.
You want even worse? Look no further than the fucking 50 Shades series, dude.
Well, the thing about
But once
Bella and
again-
Edward is it's not the worst that you can just hate everything about, but it's polluted a lot of narratives and plot structures and
Oh, yeah.
concepts.
Eh.
Like-
it was a template for a while.
Mm.
It kind of still is, but you look at even more erotica, especially the ones that focus on homosexuality.
What have you been
I got
reading,
you guys
Flying
one.
Wolf?
I got you guys one.
Okay.
I got. In fact, I'll give you two, and it's within the same manga and anime.
Oh god.
Rufel and her pet from Claymore.
Oh.
Those two and Isley and Priscilla. Even
Ooh.
though they're not really a couple per se, they might as well be. But you love to hate them for their cruelty, their malice.
Priscilla was only there not because of Isley. Isley was just leading along, but she was mostly just following what the fuck was his name? The little kid who grew up
Right.
and Roggy, yeah. She was mostly just following him and was attached to him, and Roggy was just following Isley.
True. Like I said, they might as well be a couple.
Not wrong.
But Rufel and Dolt, they're fucking insane.
It is a
That
mad world in that story.
Yeah.
That ain't any pairing, any demon pairing and demon slayer.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Especially Muzan's family.
Okay,
That
what
was
was the next topic you were moving to?
Well, wait, hold on.
Go.
Well, since Edward and Bella have been taken, good thing I have a backup.
Hey.
Sabretooth and Mystique.
Ooh dear.
Yeah.
Who in their right mind thought that was a good idea?
Probably because I remember one time in the when we were talking about the 20th Century Fox X-Men movies, that I asked that why does Mystique have a flirty thing, certainly flirty towards Wolverine, and Janelle said she's always had a thing for Wolverine, that maybe Mystique has into that kind of guy, which is why she probably had a one-night stand with Sabretooth, and suddenly that popped out great in Creed.
Yeah, later on they did get back together for a while.
It's on and off.
But
Mm.
Yeah,
that
they're
is
on and off-
bad,
on and
but
off
I would
lovers.
say the latest stuff takes a cake where they really ham up, well, do more than ham up, the whole thing with her and Destiny to the point where now that's how Nightcrawler came out. He was just footballed out of Mystique.
We don't talk about that.
Oh, but it
It was
happened.
awful.
Yes.
That is
That I'm
so
sorry, but that
stupid.
sounds like something off of an Ace Ventura movie.
She
It's
wouldn't
like
be
that. Push down on the
Even
belly.
if
Out
she's a
pops the
shapeshifter that
baby.
can become anything that she likes, she cannot. That's not how shapeshifting works.
No.
just
Thank
don't
you,
It's
realize-
not her
Wolf.
shape shifting. There are others who can do that. I forget who, but she can't. But now they're changing the rules.
Because that's what they think of shapeshifters, but despite not being the case.
No, get to the heart. Get to the heart of it. They like Dark pretty much summarized it already. He already summarized it. They love to change the rules.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically what that is. It's the changing of the rules. They like to change rules, break establishing rules, and make up other rules that they don't even follow.
Isn't this how we ended up getting that eco-terrorist with rocking Bullwinkle antlers?
Yes.
Yes.
Among many others. Among many others, which we're not going to get into that much.
Yeah.
That's about as bad as people deciding Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy should be a couple.
Oh, that. Put that on the list.
Oh yeah.
Put that on the list
like,
of a concept that was okay
Yeah.
for a while, but ran its course way too fast with how many people saturated.
well, the reason why
Mhm.
I find it amazingly dumb is you have the easily suckered psychologist who had
Quote unquote
learned,
psychologist if you've read the comic Mad Love.
yeah, but
She
even if
slept
she
for her
slept her,
grades.
even if she slept away for a degree, she had learned about toxic relationships and then goes into a toxic relationship. And then you take that past abuse victim and then stick her with the seductress.
A seductress and a misandrist.
Well, the thing is,
Seductress, misandrist,
they were
plant
better off
supremacist.
the way how their friendship portrayed, which is mostly platonic.
Mm-hmm.
It was more akin to them being roommates,
Yes.
even though
Yeah,
they
and
never
people
lived
focus
together.
on that, but they forget some episodes later, we had Poison Ivy come back, and she supposedly redeemed herself and became suburban housewife, which
Oh,
you
I
know,
remember that episode.
which didn't work out because she still couldn't get away from her plant fang and made plant copies of them. But it ended
She was
with
fertile, too.
she really wanted the suburban
infertile.
housewife life.
Yeah.
She wanted a family.
I remember that. Yeah.
It's a rather twisted episode.
Yes.
That one was a
It's twisted,
perfect
but it's also-
horror episode.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was.
Nice horror episode with a twist, and also a tragedy because you can actually tell that she genuinely did want want to change, but because of like how she got her powers, which made her infertile, it pretty much caused her to go back to what she knew best, even though she knew the risks.
Mhm.
But she still wanted a family. She still wanted a guy. She still wanted that suburban housewife life.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine that an eco terrorist that wanted to get rid of that wanted to drop the eco terrorism because she wanted to be a housewife and a mommy.
And
Mhm.
she married a guy that thought he could fix her. That's the kicker. She married a guy who thought I could
Look,
fix
Batman, hear me out.
Yeah, she
Oh,
married
no.
her Mr. Brady.
Yeah. She married her psychologist, so it's like the second one who seducted the psychiatrist and put him through heck.
Which it showed her like even like from the source, but in the end, in the DCAU, she wasn't a complete misandrist.
Well, no, she's still a narcissist though, because
Oh,
she
yeah.
thinks only of herself.
Oh yeah.
That is true. That is true. But the final note for this stream, wherever it was going, is what did y'all do on the holiday thing of
Of Valentine's Day.
Stroke the snake. I mean, something totally productive.
We're killing Dom.
All right. Well,
man.
Damn the
I'll
police.
start. On Val. On
Well, Dark's
Valentine's
already
Day.
started, so now you're the second one.
Whee!
Okay. All right. Well, by going second, on Valentine's Day, they like my lady friend from California. She and I pretty much had a virtual hangout like through Messenger because well, yeah, she's in California. I'm in Oregon, and we just decided to catch up with each
Virtual.
other. Plus,
Humble.
I did send her a val.
Hmm?
No, continue,
Yeah.
Dom.
I did send. Plus, I did send her a Valentine's Day e-card. E-card, which not only has a little animation played when she opens it, but it's also playing the song "Happy" by Pharrell Williams.
Oh no, no, dude!
Look, man,
Why
I
did
was
you
try-
do that?
It could have been worse. It could have been Kendrick Lamar.
Hey, man, I was trying. Actually, look, that was pretty much a backup. Because I was actually trying to, I don't know, like add a song into the Valentine's Day e-card. Well, my options were
You
I
couldn't
was actually
leave
going
that.
to.
You couldn't have leave that door open with Bruno Mars.
Hey, man, I was actually. My options were Smile Bomb for Yu Yu Hakusho, and and but
God
and
bless you.
and Bobby Caldwell.
Oh, I didn't sneeze.
What
I'm
you
just
won't,
trying to hold back.
I heard
what you
someone
won't do
sneeze.
for love.
I heard Inuyasha. I'm like, wow, we're going somewhere. Like,
No,
I love you. Like, I want you to treat me like a dog and
no,
tell
I
me to
said Yu
sit.
Yu Hakusho, not Inuyasha. Yu
Oh,
Yu
Yu Yu
Hakusho.
Hakusho.
Smile Bomb.
Okay.
No.
So
What
treat me like a delinquent so I can just spirit finger you. In
He just has no filter, does he?
well,
I'm
I
just
am dark and strange for a reason. You're welcome.
I'm just I'm
Oh,
surprised.
just don't include the whole fist.
I'm just surprised.
Well, that would be the shotgun.
Go on, Dom.
I'm just surprised. Like no one mentioned like Kagome and Inuyasha.
That's just toxic. And plus, again, you think about it and you realize, oh, wait, she's her own ancestral mother. Yikes. So she's kind of banging her ancestral grandfather, who she's the ancestral grandmother to, and oh boy,
Eh,
time travel.
Wait a now hold the phone. Like the two of them are not even like related to each other.
You sure about that?
Well,
she's
she is, as she's a descendant of the people who've been in charge of the shrine, but the only one who was in charge of the shrine when she went back in time was Kikyo's sister, who was very old and did not have kids. And the only one who became the guardian of the well and the area, who set up a shrine, who had kids, was Kagome.
mm,
And her kids are going to be the ones who run that and the descendants who lead into her and her brother.
God, dang it, time travel.
well. To be fair, Fry did smash his own grandma too, so there is that.
Yeah,
Off
that
of
is
drama.
sadly true.
And he was trying to prevent it, and he ended up making it come true anyway because his grandma was hot.
Look, but the point is when I was before I even sent her like the Valentine's Day e-card, and she actually liked it. My options were Smile Bomb for Yu Yu Hakusho and Bobby Caldwell's "What You Won't Do for Love." However, I was experiencing some issues, so I ended up going with option 3 with Pharrell Williams.
Should have went with I'm gonna leave that door open.
The point, like, nonetheless, the two of us like had a good time like during our virtual hangout.
Hmm.
That's good at least.
I highly doubt that, but okay. Whatever.
What do you want?
You so-
You expect me to immediately fly to California?
I ain't say all that. I'm just saying you did some basic bitch shit. Should did the lead that door open. Come on, man. You gotta get with the times. Gotta get with the times. Gotta know what the girls are listening to nowadays. Then again, she sound like she into the old school anyways.
She is into old school as well as rock and metal.
Oh man, you should.
I said also into rock and metal.
Neat.
Then why didn't you give her Thunderstruck?
Yeah, you should have gave her some Elvis and then shake your hips like, oh yeah, come on, baby, I'm ready for you.
You Thunderstruck.
I'll save it for next year's Valentine's Day.
Me, I went to try and true, get her some fresh roses
Aww.
Nice.
with two coffee cups because she loves coffee. The
Neat.
Filipina obsessed
Nice.
over coffee.
I love you.
Yeah.
You
See,
love
I was
me.
actually,
We're
I was actually going to give her some hot chocolate bombs. However, considering like mailing takes like 3 days, there's also the chance of the hot chocolate bombs to melt.
I know I hate those things. Some people send me that for Christmas. I'm like, oh, okay. So what? Oh, you make hot chocolate. I'm like, oh. So I'm like, okay. It's sitting there, and I try it one time. It's still in good within its date, and that is some bland ass chocolate taste.
I usually go with the cocoa powder.
Same. Just
Yeah,
give me
there's
a
nothing wrong
good
with that.
can of like the Hershey's dark cocoa powder, and I just mix it with the milk, the sugar.
I
and
haven't
some-
tried the Abuela's hot
All right,
chocolate
all right.
yet. Oh,
Let's
sorry.
hear what Final has to say of what he did in Valentine's
Ready.
Day.
And don't say Final Fantasy Tifa.
No, because I've already played Final Fantasy VII before. I'm on Final Fantasy VIII right now.
Oh, so you went for some Quistis.
Not really much of an achievement.
Ah.
Fuck you, dude.
Oh, nice. He's getting
You got
snappy.
fights,
I'm
man.
hitting home.
Feisty.
This is exactly why I hate you, Dark Stranger.
Anyway, Final, what did you do on Valentine's Day? Please
Writing.
share with us.
Just
Nice.
writing.
Writing, well, that's good. That's nothing wrong with that.
All right.
You write to some girl.
No, just taking notes on Final Fantasy. Going back to the very first game.
God, that's gonna be your love. I hope you two get married.
When they finally make sex bots, which Final Fantasy girl will he have?
No
Put your
sex
pets
bots.
down now.
No sex bots.
Would anyone
Yep.
like me to suggest to Ishii the country music video of the guy who fell in love with a virtual girl?
Mm-mm.
Go
No.
He'll find himself a lucky lady.
But she already has a lucky lady.
He
We're
does.
talking about Final.
Oh. Well, she brought up Ishii, and you're commenting on for that. so
no.
sound like
it
you're
was-
talking
it
about
was-
Ishii. And like,
It was Final.
Let's go back to what Final was doing. I am moving the subject to something completely bizarre and deranged that you might have to look up later.
oh no,
Well,
it's fine. It's
your
fine.
turn's coming up, so I need you to impress me.
Okay.
Uh, Anywho,
Ravish our imaginations, Miss Monty.
okay.
Tear us
You
down.
really sure you want me to do that?
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
just leave it alone.
please.
Let's just leave it alone.
No,
The
no,
night's
no,
young.
no, no.
Aw.
Let her do it. Let her do
Oh,
it.
yes, please let her do it. Let her do it. Do it. Do it now.
Week of Thanksgiving, I got sick.
She just said leave it alone earlier.
Too bad. So sad.
And
Now-
the
now
one
she's
time
happy.
I actually felt better, I decided to
Oh,
take
fuck off, Wolf.
I decided to take a walk when it is in the single digits outside to go get iced tea and a couple cups of ramen noodles.
Hmm.
And the sale thing was hilarious. It was like you had, for the month of February, the grocery store had this huge display that had flowers, and if you went catty corner to the greeting cards, it was filled with nothing but chocolates and stuffed animals. Well, everyone decided last minute they were going to get their date a bouquet of flowers and a box of those heart-shaped chocolates. Which was kind of hilarious because it was like roses, chocolates, roses, chocolates, roses, chocolates. Maru-chan spicy beef, Maru-chan spicy ramen, 2 cans of canned tea.
Mhm.
And the only thing I could tell people was Happy Pink Halloween, because that was like the one time when kids could exchange a whole bunch of those little cardboard cards and get those little pieces of candy attached.
Mhm.
But my favorite part is like the day afterwards, and then all of that candy goes on sale. So I got one of my folks a small box of conversation hearts. My dad a few chocolates, and me, I just got a whole bag of those Reese's hearts all to myself. So when I was outlining, I was like, this is great. Even though I got it like a week before I was getting cavities filled in. And that was about it. That and reading some smart alecky romance.
That is completely underwhelming. So I'm
Well,
glad you had a good day.
if I wanted to say the torturous part, it was having a headache while you can hear the neighborhood kids screaming, and one of them decided they did not want to listen for an entire day. And it happened regularly enough, you could tell the timeout scream from the play scream. But I didn't really care about that. I decided to literally go outside because it was like, I have a free ice pack for my face. If I step outside, I won't have to get cold if I bundle up like the kid off of the Christmas Story that was about the BB gun.
Christmas Story.
Yeah, A Christmas Story.
He still said fudge. We all heard that.
Yeah. And then he had to tell his mom where he learned the word from, and then while he only got soap in his mouth that tasted like lye, the kid got a beating. You could hear that over the phone. Though my favorite part has to be the sexy leg lamp.
Dark, would you like to share?
Oh,
think
what
you
I
already
did?
did.
Yes.
Oh, what I did. Well, sadly, nothing exciting. Just mostly practice on some reading while having the background be some movies like Dark City, Fountain. I like getting a little deep thought.
Oh, okay. Wait, just double check. Didn't Dark City also like had a romance?
Hmm.
I thought
With
so.
somebody who was when one of the scenarios made by the strangers in the Dark City, the Dark Strangers, uh, who was going to be his cheating wife, but in truth, they were just strangers to each other, puppets in the show, and whose memories and connections could just be easily changed around with an injection straight to the head by Kiefer Sutherland. But at the end, he kind of finds a love for Jennifer Connelly's character Emma, and it carries over after she's rewritten to what was her new name? Amy
Amy.
or something like something with an A. To where he kind of directs her to the beach that he now created with all the sunlight, and he's just going to renew their relationship, but without all the orchestrated murderer cheating and all that stuff. Good movie, very sadly underrated. A lot better than The Matrix.
Very underrated. And I actually found the director's cut on Amazon Prime.
Hmm.
Better be
Then you
sh-
get.
better make
Hmm?
sure that there's no editing involved.
Oh yeah, yes, of course.
Then you got The Fountain, which it's its own little psychological thing, like wondering where it is that this is going, but pretty much is kind of a love story talking about kind of going over like the acceptance of life and death and so on with all these anthological narratives surrounding different characters played by Hugh Jackman with a great soundtrack.
I agree. That was like another good work of fiction that deals with romance, and it's set on Valentine's Day. What had to be That'd be the episode from Totally Spies, The Matchmaker, where some where suddenly this mysterious matchmaking machine came into Beverly Hills Sam and Alex were among like other ladies that used it. However, Clover refused to do so because after a bad day, she decided to go through a dating hiatus. So, but after Sam and Alex meet their ideal guy, Clover Clover becomes suspicious and realizes that so-called perfect matches aren't who they appear to be. And if you ask me, it remains like one of the best episodes of Totally Spies because it was centered on one of the spies, in this case, Clover.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, like Clover when she's not boy crazy like it shows her that she takes her job like as a spy very seriously. It's also like so funny after all these years that now Sam and Alex now know like how Chloe feels whenever like they experience a love at first sight with a guy.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those one of those few instances in Totally Spies where what's happening is local instead of international.
Well, I thank everybody for being here. Those for you and those non-existent motherfuckers that keep popping in and out. Thank you so much for putting up with us tonight as we were talking about romance hateable romance, contemptible romance, and all kind of other crazy stuff that interjects every once in a while in the mix. Tune in for this week for Thursday's Real Millennials episode where we talk more about communication.
Part 3, in this case, written communication.
There we go. And in another week, we'll close out this month for the final entry and our talk of Black history as usual, per tradition every year. We have now come upon a good deal of information that would shock many people, would also cause people to be very skeptical, be angry, disheartened, broken. You guys are going to go through the 5 stages of grief once you hear what we have to say during that day.
I wouldn't put money on that. I'd probably just enjoy it.
It's history. It's never the same. There's always a new piece of drama in the jar that is full of bugs.
Mm-hmm. And buddy, yeah, I do remember like back in the day in DC's history, like Pamela, she didn't want to be with Bruce.
Yeah, that was back in. Wait, was it back in her first appearance, or was it way earlier?
Probably way earlier.
It was earlier, and then it was visited upon again between the 80s and the 90s.
And to be fair, some versions of Bruce is quite a catch. The 1940s version, that particular Bruce Wayne was quite the gentleman.
Mm-hmm.
I think the snarky darky dark stranger.
Thank you for having me. And remember, everybody, chocolates, roses, and lots of sex makes the world go round.
Mm-hmm. And read poetry if you can. Good poetry, that is.
Sensual poetry. Don't
not
forget
what
your
counts
fingers.
as poetry these days, which is not really poetry. It's just somebody's summation of somebody's shit life.
Mm-hmm. But
Yeah.
also read them a good book, not most of today's books.
And work them hips, boys. Gotta get in there and make them
Well, for
squats.
one, just enjoy each other's company while you
If you
can,
did the
while it
D
lasts,
final, you know what I'm
while you're
talking
able
about.
to hold each other and touch each other, you know. Shut up, dark.
Because at the end, it's not really just about sex and the ooey gooey. It's about companionship. It's about somebody there.
Mm-hmm. The humblest of writers, Humble Marty.
Hello, I'm Humble Marty. Thank you for coming to our Thanksgiving, to our belated Thanksgiving.
What?
Our belated Valentine's Day special.
What are you talking about?
Hey, it's food day. Like everybody gets the food day on the holiday, so it's always Thanksgiving.
Happy pink.
We're only like 2 months into this year.
Happy pink Halloween.
That's first I call Humble Negra.
Happy pink Halloween.
Surprised you haven't been freaking out over the spider yet.
It's a jumping spider. Those things are cute.
The last time he freaked out was when I showed an ogre face spider.
Oh, I'm writing that down. Thank you.
Fuck you.
Now do you see why I hated Wolf?
Oh,
I don't hate him.
Me final. You really do.
Please, you love to hate me.
And being by yourself on Valentine's Day is good too.
Yeah, it's time for you to self-reflect and not.
Yes, and you got 2 hands. If you're flexible enough, you got feet.
Also, if you were looking for any of the more risque,
Look, damn it! It's Dom's turn to say goodbye. The Hound of the South, Dominic Powell.
Okay.
Oh.
Dom, your mic's muted.
Oh, he's
As
muted,
I
so
was
keep
saying.
it going, Humble.
I was going to say you could look in the National Enquirer or People's Magazine, the tabloids, if you're looking for the more risque lingerie photos for Valentine's Day. They're in there. I accidentally came across them.
Yeah, I believe it. Oh, find anything like that anywhere these days.
The Warrior of Light Final Fantasy Fan 12.
Well, that about does it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like what you saw, click like and subscribe and share with your family and friends. And make sure you ring that notification bell, that way you get notified of our latest videos. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching. This is Final Fantasy Fan 12 signing off. Wishing you a happy Valentine's Day, and remember, may the light forever shine upon us.
This is your War Commander.
He's too sexy for his horns. He's too sexy
Will you
for
shut
his...
the fuck up?
Sorry.
I'm going to turn him into a serial killer one day.
I'm staying away from you.
Or a school shooter, perhaps.
Oh, hey,
The
Dom.
Hound of the South. The Hound of the South, done it, pal.
Well, thank you for joining us for Thank you for joining us in tonight's Valentine's Day special of the Real Millennials. Stay tuned for this Thursday's part 3 of 4 of the Communications Quadrilogy, and make sure you stay tuned for the Black History Month episode of the Real Millennials. That will come sooner than you think. This is the Hound of the South, Donnie Powell, signing off.
Your War Commander Wolf 10 remind you guys that you are the UN Spacey. Welcome to the Wolf Fleet.
Me and my friends get no respect.